Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. This is Taste of Tarot. We're learning a little bit about tarot cards. This is just an introduction to the courses that I do teach privately. I will be launching more classes. You will be able to see them on my website and on my Facebook, and I will put videos up here. So we're going to talk a little bit about numerology in this video and how numerology affects the pips. It's something really important to keep in mind. The pips usually are representing things that are more at the moment for your the people that you read for. The major arcana usually represents things that are a much grander thing, marriage, bigger decisions in your life. Should I stay or should I go? It can be, the major arcana can be karmic things, whereas the pips can be more of like mundane things, like I got into a fight with my boyfriend, or I had a disagreement with my sister. That's really the idea of it. Now, we can go a little bit deeper and start to talk about how the cards and the pips are represented on the tree of life. That is a whole other ball of wax, but I do like to introduce a little bit of that because the ace, 2, and 3 are at the top of the tree of life. They are in the ethereal world. They're ideas. They're not physical. It's not until we get to the 4s that things start to get physical. So I do teach my students this overview when I'm teaching about the pips. The ace, we're going to do it like we're building a house. The ace is the idea, I'm going to build a house. 2 is we sit down with the architect and talk about what we want. 3, we call up all of our contractors to get them involved. At this point, the house is not built. There's nothing physical. We're still thinking about things in relation to the house. 4, everybody shows up at the site. We dig a hole. We put the foundation in. 5, everybody starts to work. We're all cooperating. You might have the plumbers there and the framers and the concrete guys, and everyone's either working together or conflicting. 6, everybody finally works it out. We get that second floor on the house. 7, we take a step back and we start to look at what needs fine-tuning, where we can go there. 8, we're rushing to the finish line and we are trying to get things ready so we can move in on number 9. Number 9 is where we move into the house. Number 10 is where you go to sleep and you're in the house. You finally moved in. I really do want you to keep that kind of mindset there when we're talking about the pips. And that is really just like the major arcana takes you through the path of the fool or the hero's journey, so do the pips. The pips take you through a process, and the numbers really do matter. So if you think about it that way, you don't have to commit to memory every single definition that's on the page in the book that you're looking at. Again, this is the Radiant Rider Waite, available on Amazon. Get the combination book and deck. It's the best book that I've ever read on tarot. So we're going to look first steps. So we have aces are our first steps. So this is the idea. Let me move these up. I thought I had this blocked properly. Sorry. Still not that professional. So ace, we're looking at Ace of Pentacles. This is first steps toward getting money, cooperation, first steps toward stability. Ace of Cups, first steps toward relationships. Ace of Wands, first step toward goals, projects, passions. Ace of Swords, starting to learn. Then we have 2s, partnership and planning. So, and I did this for a reason. Okay, let's go back to the aces. I did this for a reason. The hand that we see in here is actually the hand of the magician. There's our Magician. If you look at our Magician, he has all of the suits on his table. He is wielding all of them. He has dominion over all of those suits. So now, in the Aces, this is where they spark to life. Notwithstanding the suit, the element that represents the suit, they all spark. So this is the spark. First steps to foundations, first steps to relationships, first steps to passions, first steps to intellectual thinking, clarity, focus. Okay, the swords always seem a little bit darker to me. I want to make sure that I don't impart that to you guys. I don't want you to think that they're a little bit dark and troubling. So then we go into our twos, okay? So, and I want you to look at all the twos. This is one of the things I do tell my students to do as well. When you're first starting out, line up all of your pips so that you can look at how the cards represent together, all right? So we've got balance. This is bringing balance to your foundations. Partnership and planning. This is, again, we're with our architect. We are planning of what we're going to do. And the Two of Cups is developing a healthy partnership, deciding to have a healthy partnership. The Two of Wands is dreaming, planning. Again, we're still in the ethereal on Ace, 2, and 3. So this is dreaming, planning, coming up with that amazing idea for Shark Tank. And then the Two of Swords, making decisions, planning. Okay, so partnerships and planning. I should have turned these. You know what? I'll turn them over. This is a little bit easier to see. You don't get distracted. So, do that guy and that guy. Threes, plans executed. Okay, so these are finalizations of plan. The decision, this is our apprentice who is endeavoring and starting out on his trade. This is celebrating, getting ready emotionally to move to the next thing. If you're establishing a relationship, yes, you're very excited. This is honeymoon phase. You're having a great time. You're having a glass of wine. You're having a glass of bubbly water, whatever floats your boat. This is, and if you remember from when I did the wands, this is our, think of him as the admiral. He's already executed the plans and his fleet is out there in the water. Plans executed. They have gone. This is throwing it out there, making it work. And it's also progress. Things are moving along. The apprenticeship is moving along. This is hardship. Hardship? Heartbreak that is evident. This is, someone has done something to break your heart. Okay, so again, overview of the cards. So we're going to move into that first foundation. This is our first foundation of the house. Remember? First floor. So we have hoarding or saving. This is, being very greedy with that foundation, making sure that foundation is set. Emotions. We have also the fours can also be considered a pause, a time of peace, or a time of stagnation. These are stagnation. Okay, so we have the Four of Cups is a stagnant period. We're like, oh my God, everything was so great. We just came off this celebration card. Yay, we were having such a great time here, and now I overdid it, and I'm tired and hungover, and I just don't know if I want to drink anymore. So that's kind of, a stagnation period. This is also a stagnation period of, and the fours are a place of stability. So it's a place to be okay with that stagnation. If you get these, it's a pause. You guys can use that time to just kind of sort yourself out and move on to the next phase, because the next phase is going to be exciting. So this is setting a foundation for a family, celebrations, hope, promise, enthusiasm. This is, having a foundation for a family if it is a marriage, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a marriage like a marriage. It can be a marriage of partnership in a business, anything like that. The cards are not restricted to the suit. So if you get if you're doing a reading for someone's new business, and you get the marriage card, it doesn't mean they're going to marry their business partner. It doesn't mean that it's about marriage. It just means that, yeah, this is probably a really good foundation and you're moving forward. The other cards will clarify that. Moving on to the fives. Fives, when we get into the fives, this is, and I'm watching my time because I don't want to kill you guys on a really long video. The fives are change and instability. Fours are stability. We're in a safe spot there. Fives start to mix it up. We start to have some drama happening here. The fives, the pentacles are stability. Remember, these are our mendicants. I went through them in another video. So they have gotten rid of their physical material wealth to get closer to God. So they have given up their stability. So this is a lack of stability, but it's a give up of stability on their own. Five of Cups, emotional instability. That's where we are, you know, kind of getting stuck in that the ennui of this card brings us to the depression of the Five of Cups. The Five of Wands is cooperative conflict or conflict itself. This can be problem solving. I get this a lot in business when there's think tank stuff going on, when we're trying to figure out how to get from A to B in something in my day job. So, you know, it can be, you know, conflict and working together. This five, it's after the battle. This is instability. We are not sure who's won. We're not sure where we're going from there. We're not sure what the next step is going to be. It's an unresolved battle here. Still trying to figure out who is right and who is wrong. Let's move on to the sixes. The sixes, again, are another point of stability. So even we'll talk about the seven in a minute, but the sixes, another point of stability, and also rite of passage. Okay, so when you're building that house, remember my steps when we were building a house, when we get to six and we put that second floor on and things are starting to happen and it actually starts to look like a house, that is, yay, rite of passage. We're really excited. It's the power of joining those two floors together, and now we actually have a house. We don't just have a kitchen, a living room, and a den. We have bedrooms. We have some place to live and sleep and have a shower and whatnot. So that is one of the things. It is also the power of joining together. Okay, so I want you to think about that team that's building the house. They are joining together, they are doing the right thing, and everybody's working together, and it's fantastic. So this is point of stability with your material goods. You can be generous, you can be fair. We have our scales in there. You can be empathetic. You have the luxury of doing that. The Six of Cups is nostalgia. Now just to show you some progression here, we have ennui, depression. Now we're getting nostalgic and we're starting to look back, and hopefully this guy is going to, whoever is doing this progression, is going to start to get happy looking back on other things in the past, more innocent time. You know, when we look back into the past, sometimes it is a very safe place to be happy. Sometimes you can reach back and you can get to that pivot point where it tells you, hey, you know, it's not that bad right now. You can look back and, you know, things were really great. Think about that sunny summer day when you were a kid and you were eating popsicles and the ice cream man was there. You had that stupid plastic swimming pool, like in 1970s, like I did. So the Six of Wands, this is winning the battle, moving forward, celebrating, being a part of the community, doing right for the community. You can see the community is there backing our warrior king there. Um, and then the Six of Swords is help arrives. We're moving forward. Help arrives here. Celebrations, looking backward. Remember, this is still a point of stability. Four is a point of stability. Five is some conflict. Six, we go into more stability. And then seven, we start to mix it up again. So the sevens are examining what you put your faith in and examining what you've done. And the reason why that is a point of conflict is because sometimes you do have to pivot in that sense. So this guy is certainly pivoting. Our Shady McShadester, Sneaky Snacker, he's certainly pivoting. We don't know if he's pivoting for good or for bad. Our farmer here on the Pentacles is reviewing the crops that he's sown. Did he do the right thing? Did he plant the right crops? Did he nurture it the correct way? Should he do something differently moving forward or next season? The sevens is dazzled by choices, sometimes gaslighting, examining what you are going to put yourself into. We have a lot of different choices here. We want to make sure that the person who you're doing the reading for takes advantage of the best opportunity and maximizes their potential. The Seven of Wands, this is, defending what you're doing. Sometimes this is a question of whether you did do the right thing. So that's always something that you should keep in mind with your readings as you go through them. And then we covered our Shady McShadester here. We don't know if he's doing the right thing. We don't know if he's stealing. We don't know if he's putting back. We don't know if he's taking back what was his. But this is questioning the motives here, examining what you have done or what you're doing to see if it's the right way to go. Moving on to our eights. So here's our apprentice that has now progressed to the point where he is becoming a master or journeyman. He is well versed in his craft. He's doing great. This is the apprentice from the Three of Pentacles that has moved on to this. This is doing the things, doing the work, doing what needs to be done. This too is possibly leaving a situation that's not great, possibly leaving for greatness, possibly leaving for not so greatness, but moving forward, action, moving forward, speed, things are happening. The Eight of Wands is always a tricky card for my students because it's a bunch of sticks. I said that in the review of all of them. So this can be like if you were someone who wrote a book or made an album, cut an album, this would be waiting for the production and kind of sitting on your hands going, oh, this is amazing. We're just waiting for it to produce and get out there and be sold. Like this would be the album or the book actually being released to the public. So, oh my God, that sounded so old. Like it was actually going to get on a truck and go someplace instead of digital media. So then we have our Eight of Swords who is urging that action. This is reminding you that you're stuck and you need to move forward and do the action. So need to move forward on this one. And our nines. Moving forward to our nines. So remember, nines is finishing up. We're finishing up, moving the furniture into the house and getting ready to cook a meal and spend our first night there. So the Nine of Pentacles is very comfortable, possibly bogged down by a mortgage in my house example, but comfortable nonetheless. The Nine of Cups is having everything at your disposal. All of your buckets are full. You're happy, you're healthy, things are great. You know, couldn't be better. Could not be better. Nine of Wands is after all this hard work. Here's our warrior. He's bandaged up. And after all this hard work and all this great stuff that's been done, you can sit back and take inventory. And, you know, in some senses you can cut your losses. You can see what was won, what was lost, how you feel about that. But this is taking that inventory, defending your position, holding safe where you are. You know, there's students that are doing a PhD or other higher degrees. This can be them defending their thesis, so that can come up there. Now, we talked a little bit about this Nine of Swords in the suit. This is a tough card. This is crisis, chaos. This is overthinking to the nth power. Still someone who's wringing their hands, still someone who is grappling with decisions, overthinking and driving themselves nuts. This is somebody who needs to step back and go back to that Four of Swords, figure out what the most important thing is, put that by their side, hang the rest of those swords up on the wall. Don't think about them for now. Tens. Let's go to our tens. So, 10, fulfillment, 10 of Pentacles, fulfillment, you have everything you need. Your legacy is in place. 10 of Cups, happy family. 10 of Wands, now we are kind of overdoing it and you want to just take a step back. This is a warning to not take on more than you can chew. This guy, sometimes our wands are overdoers, they're overachievers. So this guy thinking about taking on more, in this card, he did take on more. I hope you're all getting the sense of the progression in the cards. And then our 10 of Swords is our overthinker, has now overdone it and is dead and has to hopefully move on to another chapter. So a lot of people, when we talk about the difference between 9 and 10, like people say, oh, well, 10 is the best, right? 10 is the best. I always describe if the 9 and 10 were a wedding, 9 is kiss the bride. 9 is that peak moment. That's where we get there. That is the ultimate on the 9. The 10 is completion and moving on to the next phase. So whereas 9 would be kiss the bride, 10 is you get in the car and everyone throws rice at you, again, showing my age, or birdseed or whatever, bubbles. They're throwing it at you and you're getting in the car and going on your honeymoon. Really, that is the progress that you need to think about. So I hope that gave you a good idea of how to run the pips. I will do more videos about our court cards, and we'll get to know them a little bit better. But like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying this. If you have questions, please post them down below. Again, Radiant Rider Waite, Fortune Cookies, thanks for being here. Talk to you all soon.